Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Haut Beyleron here in Farming Simulator 19 with me, CWATTYESO. We've finished the sorghum seeding, so now of course we need to do the rolling and we need to do some weed removal on this field. So we are going to give horseplay a chance. Number of headlands 2. 10% overlap. Field margin -2. We need to select the width. We're going to select 11.5 for this. Generate the course. And obviously we now need target position nicely in this corner here. Start the job. Give him a chance to go and get in the correct spot. Mr. Genesis is over on the other field planting the soybeans on that field. I have finished fertilizing my grapes. My grapes are all fertilized. All very nicely nice. Right, we need this fella now, because he's going to be doing some weeding for us. He's going to follow the roller and do the weed removal. Because I don't want weeds growing on my sorghum field. And obviously get to use the hoe for the first time in actual anger. I do believe that is the only field that's got weeds growing on it. Gonna get a ball settle. Let's say 9 meters. We'll say 8.5 then. Okay, he's coming up that row. We'll let him do that and get out of his way. We'll let him get a little bit further ahead of us himself. Meanwhile, we can run over here quickly and get rid of the pallets of honey. Sell them. Ooh, you didn't sell. Perfect. That's them sold. Yeah, Mr. Soybeans is planting my soybeans over here. And then I guess we'll be then looking at doing... it's going to be June before we get to harvest the barley. It's going to be July before we harvest the wheat, the oat and the canola. That means May, June are pretty much going to be contracting. There's a couple of spraying jobs out there. There's a lot of sowing jobs. I've only got one seeder. There's a bunch of cultivating jobs, but again, the big tractors are tied up at the minute, so I can't do those. If I had olives and canola, we could make a bit of money quickly. If we had water, 205,000 litres of water. It's a large greenhouse. Huh? And corn. 10,000 litres of corn. Don't have any corn. As far as I know. Nope. So none of the supply we can't do any of the supply transport contracts because we don't have any of those materials. So what I can do though, I can do a lovely spot of weeding. Yeah, if I jump out quickly, that says weeds growing, weeder. That says no. Huh? Are you kidding me, game? Are you kidding me, game? Are you going to tell me that the hoe can't remove weeds? I can see why people are turning weeds off. I can see it now. Where's weeding technology? Pulls out small and medium grown weeds. So it's not actually going to let me do it. Damn new game. Let's have a look at the field status then. Okay, we could actually do with some more fertilizer being put on this field then. I guess we're just going to have to wait for the weeds to actually grow and appear before we can actually remove them. Nice try. Sadly doesn't work. Now maybe with a weeder it would work. But I'm not buying a weeder when I've got a hoe. I'm not having two machines that do the same job. The only difference being hoes can pull out weeds at growth stage 2, whereas weeders can only pull out weeds up to growth stage 1. This game gets quite confusing. Oats are growing nicely. Right. Let's go do some fertilizing then instead. We should be allowed to fertilize. Yes. We'll put down the second fertiliser application then. That's what we'll do. Whilst Mr. Fent is still rolling. We'll get a screenshot for the thumbnail. Doing figure of eights, look. On a figure of eight turn there to get on his next row. That Fent. Wow, look how many pallets have already respawned. My beehives. I need to... It's because I haven't sold them. I didn't sell them yesterday. There's obviously a bit of a backlog. The bees have been storing up the honey because they ran out of room. Back that up a bit. I wasn't really properly aligned. No. Once we've fertilised this field, we can jump straight over and follow where Mr. Soybean Man's been seeding as well. Just going to move out of the way for a second. You might have also noticed I've thinned the trees out a little bit more as well, off camera. I've been down the edge of this field and I've removed every other tree. So... thins things out a little bit. Obviously, I removed any trees that were near the grape fields. I've removed those to open all that area up a bit more. Although there's two more there that I might possibly think of removing. Because then I could put a shed. A little lean-to, and then I can store my tools in it. My subsoiler and my mulcher and my fertilizer sprayer for the grapes. And my pruner eventually when I need to get a pruner. You know? There's definitely two more trees there. These two. Let's remove these. Perfect. Now, if we went for sheds, do we want to go with something like that? That's a bit big. I just want a tiny little shed. Small garage. Don't really have anything fitting. All those sheds are a little bit on the big side. I might have to go and have a look on the mod hub, see if there's any smaller little shed things. I don't need a massive shed just to put a 1.5 metre subsoiler, a 1.5 metre mulcher and that little 4 metre sprayer. I don't need a huge ginormous shed for that. I could get away with, you know, almost a flipping box. Just need a box to put them in. You know, a shipping container would be fine. If it could have a shipping container that I could put equipment in, that would be perfect. You know, a bit like Clarkson. He just used shipping containers to store all his stuff in. And then his equipment, he just chained it all together and left it in the field. So people wouldn't steal it. Now, some of this probably isn't going to fertilise. Second stage. Might do. Because obviously he's not seeded all the field yet. that bit's not had fertilizer applied to it. Also, it would help if I turned off the needs rolling, just so I can get a better idea. Because obviously I did the first stage fertilizing on this field as the guy was doing the stone picking. So there's a very good chance that some of the field is going to be fertilized after he did the stone picking. Some of it was before he'd done the stone picking, so then by stone picking he's changed the field state, which means I've put fertilizer down after he's done the stone picking. But now the field needs to go through another field state before it will register another application of fertilizer. Yeah, it's looking a bit patchy, isn't it? It is looking a bit patchy, this field. We might have to wait. We might just have to wait a little bit. I think. Although I imagine it will recognise it on all this bit. It will. You can see where the grass, the path was between the fields. There's a little bit of area there on the side of the field where the stone picker's not actually done its job. Because it's still showing the ploughed texture. So yeah, it kind of looks like I'm going to have to at least go around and do the headlands of the field again after he's finished seeding. Okay. So it's not applying to that bit, because that bit's already done. Right, okay. This has worked because I was rushing to get things done because snow was falling. Wasn't it? Yeah, it's not really applying any fertilizer. Gonna have to let him do his seeding, unfortunately. What we'll do is we'll just let him the seeder finish, and then we'll whiz round the outside again very quickly. Use that bit up. Do that missing spot. Yeah, needs rolling, but no weeds growing because obviously this field was freshly ploughed. Roller Man looks to be starting on his headlands, which is very useful. Perfect. So we've just got to wait for the weeds to pop up, and then we can come back down with the hoe, get rid of the weeds, and then we'll be on perfect yield, I'm going to get. You should have done a sharp corner there. Sharp turn. So he's going to do it here? Why didn't he do it at the other corner? That's strange, because he should have done that same manoeuvre on that other corner, because, you know, that corner's square. Ish. Hmm. So yeah, there's a couple of spots in that corner I need to go and tackle. Just as he finishes this field. There he goes. So he's actually going to say he's finished here. So I can drive him up there, do that last little bit that it needs, and then we can take him over and have him set up to start doing this field. And we can have him working on that a little bit, can't we? But that'll be done off camera, don't worry. I'm not going to subject you to watching him rolling again and again and again and again and again. Right, I'm just going to roll that bit out. Okay, so that field is all done. It's weird, you know. It's a little bit weird because that is fully fertilised. Fully fertilised. Yeah, on my screen that looked a lighter blue. It did. It looked a slightly lighter blue. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've double fertilised that. tell you what we will do very quickly then. Very quickly then, as it's for science, you know. Let's get one of those. This is a normal mechanical weeder, right? We'll get the little fella to go and fetch that. And we'll see. We'll drive a mechanical weeder onto that field. See if that removes the weeds. If that's the case, then that's just complete BS, giants. That I have to use a mechanical weeder and I can't use the hoe until the weeds are actually visible. Because you see, in the past I've normally used the mechanical weeder, but then we found out that mechanical weeders can't remove weeds of growth stage 2 or above. So it was like, oh my god, there's 24 pallets of bloody honey. Again, the bees must be seriously backed up with honey. I need to clear that a lot more frequently. I put the bigger spawning box mod. I've installed that, so my spawn area is now 24 pallets. It was previously 12, so I've increased the number of pallets that can spawn on my map. But obviously the bees must have quite a backlog that they need to get through. This is purely for science, ladies and gentlemen, to see if this works. If a mechanical weeder can remove the weeds before they've actually grown. If it does, then like I say, that's just complete BS, giants. The fact that I've got to own a mechanical weeder and a hoe to do the same job. I've got to have two pieces of equipment to do one job. Right, so again, just to remind everybody, we have got weeds growing, weeder. No weeds. No weeds now. What an absolute troll this game is. So you telling me that the hoe can't do that? The hoe can't remove the weeds at this stage. Bearing in mind the hoe is supposed to be able to remove weeds at small and medium, whereas a mechanical weeder can only remove weeds that are small. The hoe is like the more advanced version of the weeder. So why can't the hoe remove the weeds on a freshly seeded field? is confusing. And like I say, I can see why so many people are turning weeds off, because it's just... Oh, it's just a faff. It's just a very poorly implemented faff by Giants in FS22. Right, well I guess what we do then is we now carry on and do the weeding. But I will carry on with that off of camera, ladies and gents. He has now finished his seeding. Which is very helpful. Means I can now go around and finish off the fertilizer spraying. I'm just going to check down here that he's been able to seed down here. There was an area where the stone picker had not done its job. But yeah, he's been able to seed the whole field all right. That's fine. That's fine. So the whole field's correctly seeded. It's just that obviously there's probably a little bit somewhere where the field is sloped at such a point, or maybe it has a bit of a divot in it somewhere. And it's not quite smooth, and the stone picker kind of floats over it. Doesn't correctly do its job. Right, I can, however, finish off the fertilizing. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say thank you for watching today's episode. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please could you go ahead now, click that like button for me. Could you also subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so? Could you leave me some comments in the comment section down below? And obviously share this video with everyone you can, everywhere you can. I've been CWATTY, and this has been Haut Beyleron. I will be back with some more content for you very, very soon. But for now, everybody, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Goodbye for now.